Welcome everyone to another AHA live tutorial. Today we're talking about how to build impressive roadmaps with the right details. And a key word to emphasize within this topic is that it's roadmaps with an S, as in plural, and that acknowledges that product teams need to communicate their plans to multiple different audiences across the entire product development process, which implies different types of roadmaps with varying levels of detail. And this topic is important to me because I can relate to it so much. I'm part of the customer success team here at AHA. And prior to that, I was VP of product in my former roles. And I can relate because I remember it was always a constant struggle for me to understand the latest roadmaps from my product management team. And that's because they were usually maintaining these roadmaps manually in tools like PowerPoint, which meant that the roadmaps were always outdated. And because I could never get a quick summary of our plans on demand for a given product, it made it very difficult and time consuming for me to maintain an executive level view of our portfolio roadmap for my leadership team. Since then, I've personally helped so many customers onboard their teams into AHA, and these new teams typically share these same kinds of challenges with me about how difficult and time consuming it is to maintain their roadmaps. And as these teams move into AHA and start producing automated roadmaps, they need to focus on optimizing these roadmap views to the needs of their different audiences. For example, this could be an executive-facing roadmap that shows alignment to corporate strategy. And then a separate roadmap that shows cross-team dependencies, which is needed by cross-functional leaders to coordinate these dependencies among their teams. And then another roadmap could show what the team is prioritizing through the lens of their strategic customers. And the list goes on. And it's very important to identify these different audiences and then tailor your roadmaps to answer the key questions that these audiences have. The good news is that it's all possible within AHA to build out your required roadmaps, customize those roadmaps to the appropriate level of detail, and share them with your different audience members. That's what we're going to cover today, and we've released some really exciting new capabilities recently that we'll show you as it relates to building out these roadmaps. One of those capabilities is our new roadmap drill down capability. This allows your audience to interact directly with the roadmaps you share to drill in and get more information beyond what's immediately visible on the screen. And the second capability is a brand new sharing option that makes your roadmaps accessible within your ideas portals, which is directly where your users or internal stakeholders are already engaged. Now, Rose will show you how to create and share roadmaps for different audiences and how to benefit from these recent product updates.
Thank you, Mark. So I want this tutorial to really give you all a sense of the different visual roadmaps that you can build in AHA. From how to go about choosing the right view for your audience, customizing it, and then getting familiar with all the sharing options available to you. As Mark noted, it's so important to deliver the right information to your intended audience, and today you'll learn best practices and see the newest functionality in AHA for how to do just that. So I have chosen 3 of our most popular roadmap views to cover with you today, from a top-down visualization of strategy to a bottom-up view of features. So first, we'll build a strategic roadmap to visualize our high-level efforts, then share it in a dashboard for our leadership team, like the one you see here. Second, we'll make a custom roadmap to look at initiatives across multiple products, then create a shared web page for internal teams. And third, we're going to create a features roadmap and publish it in our ideas portal, like you see here, to show our customers what's coming next. And for each of these 3 roadmaps we build today, we're going to follow these 3 steps: build, customize, and share. So for build, I'll show you how to build the right roadmap for your intended audience. For customize, I'll show you how to make your roadmap visually appealing and tell a really clear story. And for share, I'll explain our different sharing options and how you can make sure that you're including the right details when you share your view. And I'll remind you of how these 3 steps apply as we go through each of our 3 roadmaps here. So let's get into AHA and start building our roadmaps. So here we are in AHA with our example fitness software company, Fredwin, and we are going to start with strategy. So let's imagine we set our corporate initiatives at the beginning of the year, and now we need to keep leadership informed of how that work is progressing. So under our strategy tab up here, let's click in and take a look at our initiatives. So what you're seeing here on the screen are the initiatives we've set at the company level, Fredwin Software. So this is where the team has defined the high-level efforts that we're going to invest in. And you can see in this first initiative for new offerings that we have the child initiatives or individual product initiatives this contains, and then we're also calculating progress based off of those. Now, if we click into one of these initiatives, this marketplace launch, for example, we can also see the downstream work here. So all of the associated releases and features related to that initiative. You could also use roll-up releases down here for, say, coordinating a cross-product launch. So all of this detail about our initiatives is great, but now we need to get this into a more digestible format for our leadership team. And that's where the strategic roadmap view comes in. So let's go through our 3 roadmap steps: build, customize, and share. So once you're in a place where you've added your initiatives and related plans and you're tracking your progress against them, you can build a strategic roadmap view to visualize this. So this is a great view for showing the high-level efforts the team needs to complete to achieve their goals. And you have a few different options to get there. So in this change view type drop down on the upper left right here, you can click roadmap, and that will instantly create a roadmap view of the initiatives you have here. Or you can get there from the roadmaps tab up here and click on strategy. So either path will generate a roadmap of the workspace or parent line we're currently in, which in this case is Fredwin Software. And here's our roadmap. So now we're visualizing all of those initiative details we were just looking at on a timeline. And of course, it's interactive, which is why it's such a powerful view for leadership. They can open up any initiative they want more details on here, and then get answers to their questions, such as what is the budget or which business units will be impacted. And these are all custom fields that we've set up for our initiatives. And while you're in this view, it's also easy to adjust the dates by dragging these bars. So now that we've built the right roadmap for our audience, our first step, let's move on to customizing it, step 2. And there are a couple options on the strategic roadmap I like to use to make this view tell more of a story about our progress. So whenever you want to customize your roadmap or report view, go for this customize view gear icon up here, and then you'll see all the different customization options that are available to you. So here, the first thing I'm going to do is show progress or unhide it. And then we can make it clear how far along each initiative is based on the % complete, which remember we were calculating based on child initiative progress here. So now from this, we can see that most of our initiatives are pretty far along, but this new offerings one is lagging a bit. So we could take a closer look at what's happening there. And then a great way to make the status of each initiative even more apparent at a glance is to color these bars by status. So this makes it super clear which initiatives are on track and which are not. You likely have a lot of initiatives underway at any given time. So here we can make it really easy for an executive to zero in and see which initiatives require their attention to get back on track, like our new offerings example here, which is now all red, indicating at risk. And one final thing I'm going to do here is set our calendar resolution to months, just to make this view a bit less busy. And now we're good to go with our customization step. So we have a nice streamlined roadmap view of our strategic initiatives and how we're progressing against them. We've customized this roadmap to show progress and make it clear what is on track and what is not. So now it's time to share, our last step. So let's go ahead and save this view. We can call it Fredwin Software Initiatives. And I'll share this with others at our company. And then let's take a look at our sharing options. So you'll find these in the upper right here. And these first 2 options that you see here, add to a presentation or add to a dashboard, are both really useful for leadership. So we could add this to an existing presentation or create a new one, say if we have a quarterly business review coming up. And if you want to learn more about AHA presentations, we do have a great tutorial recording on how to build your best roadmap presentation that you can find in our knowledge base. And then for here, a dashboard is also a great option to enable leadership to check in on the status anytime and tell a complete story of your plans and progress. So definitely give this a try at home if you've never made a dashboard before. Nothing will break if you push this, and you can always delete it later if you need to. And I actually have an example dashboard that I've saved for you of how our strategic roadmap could fit into that. So I'm going to go into my saved dashboards here and pull that up for you. It's this strategy dashboard here. So here we've brought all the information that leadership wants to track in a single view. We have our initiatives, progress from the roadmap we just walked through how to make up here, as well as goals, and then can take in more details as we scroll down. So any viewer of this dashboard, again, can open up a specific record they want to know more about, just like we did with the roadmap itself. And the other really nice thing about dashboards is that you can filter them by workspace. So say an executive really wanted to dig into our Fredwin cycling product specifically. They can easily do that here. And if we update it, it'll show us the initiatives and goals and planned budget for Fredwin cycling. And now because we're looking at our child or individual product initiatives, we can expand these bars to see the downstream work. So maybe this partner portal initiative just needs a bit more time to complete. So if we click into that, you can actually have these initiative dates align automatically with the downstream work. So if we select this calculate from features and epics option, our initiative end date will snap to the dates of that last work item. So let's recap what we've done so far back on our 3 roadmaps slide here. So we've built, customized, and shared a strategic roadmap to give our leadership team a streamlined view of initiative progress. And then we shared it in a dashboard to give them the ability to check in on the status anytime and dig into the details as they would like to. So next, let's look at a roadmap that helps you visualize your initiatives across multiple products so we can keep all of our teams aligned. So we'll go back into AHA to build this custom roadmap. So before, we were looking at initiatives at our parent line level, Fredwin software, and then we saw how to use the workspace filter for the dashboard. So this time, I want to build a roadmap that will really give the teams I work cross-functionally with a sense of everything that's planned across our suite of products, and make it possible for them to drill down into the details to learn more about the work that impacts them and what to expect. So as we've expanded our own suite of tools at AHA with ideas, develop, and create, in addition to roadmaps, the importance of being able to visualize plans across all those products really hits home. Now, we could build a portfolio roadmap. So if we click this under roadmaps, it'll auto-generate that portfolio roadmap for you. So this helps us visualize our initiatives and releases in our portfolio all in one view. So our initiatives are on the left here, and then we have our release plans on the right in these bars. Now, this might already serve your needs, in which case that's great. But let's say you want to bring in more information to visualize initiatives in a different way. So for example, say we want to view our product initiatives on these bars instead of the releases that are there now, and then see how those roll up to our corporate initiatives. So we can use a custom roadmap to do this. So I'm going to walk you through how to make a custom roadmap, which you can find here, where you have full control over what's shown in your view. So let's go ahead and start creating this. So here in this report builder modal, we can see some nice example custom roadmap options, which can be helpful to test out. And if we create our own, which I'm going to do here, when you select your records, think about the record type you want to visualize on a timeline to make your selection here. So we know we want to visualize initiatives on those bars, and I'd like to have them be associated with their respective workspaces or products. So good to go on record selection. And then in this add field step, here we can choose if we want to visualize them as bars or milestones, and then set the start and end dates, which I'm going to do for initiatives. And then I'm good with the initiative names shown on bars. And here you can also add another field if you want to have that be visible at a glance. I'm going to add this custom field we have for opportunity amount on there. And then for the groupings, since we want to see how our product or child initiatives roll up to drive our corporate or parent initiatives, we're going to want them in order of workspace line, which I can search for here and then drag up. And then we're going to add a roll up initiative. And these are going to be our Fredwin software initiatives. And then last, we'll have our workspace names, so we can easily identify which product initiatives are part of that workspace. So we have line, roll up, workspace name in that order, and we'll see how that looks on our roadmap in just a second. Next, for filters, since we want a view of all of our product initiatives, I am going to select all three products, so cycling, swimming, and running. And then let's create our roadmap and see how that looks. So here we can see all of our different product initiatives displayed on our timeline, just like we wanted. We have our different initiative names and those opportunity amounts to show the potential value. And then they are grouped by the parent initiative or corporate initiative they roll up to, just like we had set up in our report builder. So here we can see we are doing a ton on the mobilization front for our flagship product, Fredwin Cycling. And we also have some initiatives underway for our emerging products. But we're kind of swimming in a sea of green right now with the roadmap we built. So let's move on to customizing this to make it more clear which products these initiatives are tied to. So back to our customize view gear icon, and then customize style to see our options here. So the first thing I want to do is color these initiatives by workspace name, which I can just type in here. And that'll give me a nice little preview of what those colors will look like. And then let's also show progress, just like we did with our strategic roadmap, to see how far along each initiative is. And then last thing I'm going to do here for customizing style is change this to thick bars with text inside, and that will help consolidate the information within each initiative. So hit done. All right, this is looking much better. And before we share this, I'm just going to do this calendar resolution to months to clean that up a bit. And then we can save this. I'll go ahead and call it Portfolio Initiatives. And again, this would be a great view for cross-functional teams that you collaborate with, or maybe you have portfolio managers. And if the teammates you want to share this roadmap with do not use AHA, then sharing as a web page is a great option for them. So you can send someone a link to this exact view we just created, and then make it interactive with record drill down so they can self-serve on the right details, and you have full control over what information comes through. So let's enable sharing as a web page and then take a look at the interactive options. So the first one here, we can allow filtering. So these will give someone interactive filters on the web page that they can use. You just need to have that filter added to your roadmap. So we can go ahead and add workspace name there. And then let's also allow drilling for several initiative custom fields that will be relevant to our teammates. So here under initiatives, we can add the business units impacted. I'll do the planned budget. And then we have a description here too, and the status is showing up as well. So this will give someone a good sense of what that initiative involves. So if we select preview here, we can see what this shared web page will look like from the perspective of the teammate you share it with. So they can scroll to take in this whole view, and then they can click on any of these initiatives to see the details without having to log into AHA. So they can see what this mobile app upgrades initiatives involves, who it impacts, what the planned budget is. All right, so now you've seen how to build, customize, and share this custom roadmap. Let's go back to our 3 roadmap slide to recap. So we've completed our first 2 roadmaps and we have 1 left. So this is one we've actually seen our own customers sharing with their customers to keep them informed of what's coming next. And that is the features roadmap that we're going to share in our ideas portal. So let's go back into AHA and set that up. All right, so here we are back in AHA. And because I have our ideas portal set up at the Fredwin Cycling product, I'm going to go ahead and click into that features board. Now, for the roadmap we build here, like I mentioned, we are going to use the features roadmap because it makes what's coming next and when super clear to the viewer. It's also really easy to show only the relevant information you want to share with record drill down and filters. Now, similar to how we change the view type of our initiatives to display them in a strategic roadmap, you can do that right from your features board as well. So naturally, customers want to know what's coming next and when, but of course you want to be careful about setting expectations. You don't want to share just everything on your features board. So let's click into this roadmap view, and it's a good thing there are a lot of customization options for our customize step. So from our default view here, which I like to start with in case you're following along at home and seeing a similar view, the first thing I'm going to do is go into our customize view options and hide goals because that's kind of the immediate thing jumping out as something really more internal. But I am going to show the status of releases to give people a general indication of whether something is already shipped or in development. And another thing I wanted to point out on this features roadmap to you is how to use external dates. So let's select that option here, and then I'll show you how I got there. So if we click into this Android release, you can see we have this clickable external release date field. And here's where you can go in and round it. You can see I have these rounding to the nearest quarter. You could also do it by month or by week. Just remember that if you want to have a certain calendar resolution, it does help to have them all set up in the same way. Now, for additional customization, we can filter out the releases and features we're either not ready to share yet or they're just not applicable to an external audience. So I'm going to remove this progress dashboard by Xing this out here since we still had some planning to do for that release. And then these X's and checkboxes here all act as filters. So it's really fast to just use these to quickly filter out what you don't want shown in your roadmap. I do want to include what we've recently shipped here. And okay, this is looking good. We have a nice filtered view of upcoming features and some recently completed ones. So let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to call it Features Roadmap for Ideas Portal, so I can easily find this when I select it to share in my portal. All right, so if we go into our sharing options, we'll go to Share as Web Page. And when we enabled sharing as web page in our last step for our custom roadmap, you might have noticed we also have this option to enable sharing to ideas portals. So this is a new option we built earlier this year that really makes portals more of a two-way street. So now instead of just sharing their product feedback, your community can also hear from you on what you're planning to build next. And this functionality is part of our Ideas Advanced plan. So I'll show you how that works here in case you're not seeing this option in your account right now. Now, I selected this option to enable sharing to an Ideas portal, and I can also allow for drill-in. Now, this is a client-facing roadmap that we're going to publish on our portal, and the audience is external customers, so the information we expose is going to be minimal. But what we could do is set up a custom field for an external description for each feature. So a customer could click on that feature to learn more about what's coming, like we'll see in just a moment. So let's do that here so you can see how that looks. So I made this special feature description custom field. I am going to remove the status for each individual feature since we are showing that at the release level. And now this is good to go. So I've enabled sharing. So now I'm going to show you how to set that up in our portal. So I'm going to get there from our ideas overview and go into settings here. So just really quickly, this is what our portal looks like from the customer perspective. We have all these ideas here and a healthy flow of feedback coming in. And now let's shift to the perspective of our portal administrator and go into the settings. So here in this pages section is where we can add a new page for a roadmap. Let's go ahead and do that. We can customize the name of the tab that we're going to publish. So I'm going to call this Coming Soon. We can give it a heading, call it the Fredwin Cycling Roadmap. And then down below here is where we're going to select that features roadmap that we just customized and shared. So there's this handy title I gave myself to remember which one to pick. We'll go ahead and select that one. And it'll give us a preview here. We could also open it in AHA. And let's go ahead and make this visible, which is going to publish our live roadmap in our portal. So let's shift out of settings back into that customer perspective and see how that looks. So here's our brand new Coming Soon tab. And if a customer clicks into this, they can see our features roadmap here. So they can explore these various releases here. And they can click in to one feature and get our external feature description there. And you can rest assured that you're sharing the right level of information with how we set up the interactive drill-in and filters to share these external feature descriptions. And know that you can also share any other type of roadmap, report, or note in your ideas portal so you can proactively communicate whatever information your community needs. Let's go back to our roadmap slide. And that covers how to build, customize, and share our 3 different roadmap views for today. So I hope this inspired you to explore our different roadmap templates, customize them, and build your own amazing interactive views with the right details for all of your different audiences. And if you do run into questions, you can contact us at support@aha.io, and we will respond super fast.